Hey everyone, my name is Kristen. I am a mom of 3, and today I'm going to talk about advice I wish I had known when I started homeschooling. So if you'd like to hear, please keep listening. Thanks. So one of the first things on my list that I had wished I had known when I first started homeschooling my kids was don't focus on the grade level. Now I'm saying this because not everybody is just on a straight line for development. English might be here, math might be here. It varies incredibly for every single child, never mind children with special needs. So what I wish I had known is to not get so obsessed with getting him all the curriculums that were in his grade level. And I say grade level because a lot of homeschool curriculums that I have found personally are pretty advanced. So if you get too caught up on where you think they should be, it's going to be an incredibly stressful, drawn out, long process, not only for you, but for your child too. Just because you think that they're in, say, 6th grade, doesn't mean that all of their subjects are going to be at 6th grade level. You don't have to do everything in the curriculum. Holy moly. I bought so many curriculums. I'm not even kidding. I bought so many of them thinking that we had to do A, B, C, D, E. And I wish if I could go back in time, I would have been like, hey, Kristen, stop. That's enough. I spent so much time trying to find the perfect curriculum and then getting stressed out and being like, no, we need to finish this. We started it. We need to go from A to C. And that's not how it works. You don't have to go through every single little thing in the curriculum. To expect somebody to is a little ridiculous because honestly, your child is going to either grasp things earlier or they're going to grasp things a little bit later or take a little bit longer to grasp what you're teaching them. So it really varies. If your child gets it, don't waste time sitting there and making them do busy work when they don't need to do it. The third thing I wish I knew was to figure out what my end goal was for the year. At the beginning of the year, I make goals now. So by the end of this year for kindergarten for my 5-year-old, I want him to be able to identify the letters of the alphabet, identify numbers 1 through 20, and do basic addition and subtraction. I want him to be able to say the sounds of the letters, but I do not expect him to actually be reading because that is not something that he is ready for. However, if we do not meet that goal, it's totally fine because I'm reading his cues. I'm figuring out, okay, what is he ready for? Is he ready to learn how to read? Is he ready and interested in letters? I want to know the things that he's ready for developmentally, not what is expected of a typical 5-year-old in a classroom setting. You don't need to buy a super expensive curriculum. It's totally not necessary. It really is not. If you need to, you can thrift shop. You can buy used books. You can look at curriculums online and kind of copy them a little bit, but obviously not to sell them. Just kind of try out something similar if you can. Come up with your own. Or, you can just buy unit studies. It doesn't have to be a super expensive curriculum for it to be a fantastic curriculum. Some of the curriculums that I enjoy is master books, The Good and the Beautiful. I really like going on Etsy. There are some people on Etsy who are just small business sellers and they come up with these most adorable little unit studies. There's so much you can do. It doesn't have to be this extravagant, huge thing. Homeschooling is what you make of it. Okay, so just try your best. It doesn't have to be this perfect thing for it to be beneficial to your children. You don't have to try so hard. I think that was part of my problem was I tried way too hard to make everything perfect, and that's not realistic at all. Do not try to make homeschooling like public school. It is not the same. The reason why you pulled your kid out from public school is usually because you don't want them in public school, okay? So don't try to compare your own homeschooling journey to a public school journey because they're totally different. We go and we come up with our daily plan and we sit down and we do little increments. It doesn't have to be like this huge formal setting. It doesn't have to be what the kids are learning in public school. Focus on what your child needs, not on what you think they need. I think that is probably the best advice that I've given myself and what people have told me is to just focus on them and not what you think or where you think they should be, because it's not the same thing. You don't need a fancy homeschooling room unless, okay, I'm going to say unless. So no, you don't need a fancy homeschooling room. But some kids need that separation. My friend has children with special needs. My kids also have special needs, but every child is very different. Her kids need to have a separate space that they can get into that mindset and the zone that, okay, now I'm learning. My oldest, he likes routine, but he picked his routine at the kitchen table. That is where he decided I'm doing my schoolwork, and that's a part of his routine. No matter how many times I've tried to change where he does school, it won't happen. Like, that is where he does it. It doesn't matter. My 5-year-old, he does school in my 3-year-old daughter's room. She has a little desk in there, and he likes the desk. So it doesn't have to be this extravagant thing. It can just be spaces within your home that you made a designated area. It doesn't have to be an entire homeschool area, like a homeschool room. It can just be a spot where your kids can hunker down, do their work. You can do homeschool outside. You can do it at the library, as long as COVID isn't restricting you from going to the library at this point in time. There's a lot of things that you can do, and you can make the most of your situation. Stay within your budget. That is hard because it's so easy to say, I want all these things, and you don't need them. You don't need all these things. I bought too many things. I bought things that we haven't even used yet that I'm like, oh, I need that. That'll be good. Have I used it? Hardly. So just try to think like, do I really need this? Try to decipher the difference. Do I want this or do we need it? And that's what I've been working on. Do I want this because I want it, just because I think it'll be good to have? Or do I want this because I have an activity planned, I have a lesson planned around what I want to get? If you don't have something planned around what you want to get, then don't buy it, because then you're not going to need it. And it's no point in wasting your money, especially when things are tight. I think for a lot of people right now, things are very tight. So try to be smart about it. And I give myself that advice too. I'm not being mean. This is advice that I've given myself. So try to be smart about it. Stay within your means. Don't overspend, because the only thing that it's going to do is it's going to stress you out and cause debt that you do not need, or force you to change things up in your budget that you didn't have to really change in the first place. Great advice that my friend also gave was, don't buy for the whole year. Buy a little bit at a time. So if things are tight for you, like they are for me, don't go and buy and spend for the entire year. It's really nice to be like, okay, I'm going to buy this great curriculum. I'm going to have everything there, and we're going to get this done throughout the year. I did that. I bought everything that we needed all in one go, okay? All in one sitting. And then you know what happened? The curriculum didn't work out. So I think what is good is to buy a little bit at a time if you can. Make sure that that's going to work for you and your child, because you have two different styles. Your child has learning style, and you have a teaching style. You want to make sure that it caters to both of those, because what works for me isn't going to work for my kids. So I have to try to find a curriculum that's going to benefit both of us and have it flow nicely. Because when it's not going to flow nicely, that's when I start dragging my feet and I start losing momentum, and then I start getting upset about things. So it's better to just buy one thing at a time, take it slow, stay within that budget, and then you'll eventually realize what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what curriculum are you looking for. You can always buy mini units of a lot of things. You don't have to buy like whole books and whole things for the entire year. You could just buy one thing at a time. If you need to, get secondhand. If you go into a homeschooling group, there will be a marketplace within that group, and you can easily find used curriculums that are either barely written in or not written in at all. So there are ways to budget and save money without buying brand new. Do not follow the trends. There will be a lot of trends in homeschooling groups. Like right now, the big thing is to have a special little cart that you wheel out and you put next to the table. Not everybody can afford those little carts. Don't feel pressured. It is not necessary. I have all of my homeschool stuff in a bookcase, and I have it labeled in little tiny bins that were cheap. You don't have to be following all these crazy trends, because people like to post things on there and they like to show off. I mean, they're allowed to. You can. If you feel really good, you worked hard for your things, you want to show it off, and that's great. But don't feel pressured because somebody's proud of something that they have. Don't feel pressured to have the same thing, because it's not going to do you any good to feel like garbage over something superficial as a little rack that you can wheel in and out. So I hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think in the comments if you would like to see more videos like this. Normally I do curriculum reviews, but I'm trying to kind of move away from those a little bit and kind of talk about homeschooling more as a vlog. So please let me know what you think. Is there anything you want to hear about? Is there any advice you would like? Please let me know. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a great day.